Hi, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to provide you BBC COMPACTA solutions for assignments based on verbs and their various types. But before that, we need to understand the role of verbs in our language. Verbs play a crucial role in language learning as they convey actions, states, or occurrences. Understanding verbs is essential for effective communication as they provide the framework for expressing events and relationships between elements in a sentence. And proper use of verbs helps convey accurate information, express thoughts clearly, and create a dynamic and engaging language. Without a grasp of verbs, communication can become ambiguous or incomplete. So, without much delay, let's pick our assignment number 48 and start with our verb and verb types. So, the first question is circle the 6 verbs in the following box. Number 1 is away. This is not a verb, it is an adverb. See, every time when you look at the words in a sentence, you should be able to tell about the part of speech to which that particular word belongs. So here, if we know each and every word and its part of speech, it means we have good command on our grammar. So, away is our adverb. Because is a conjunction. Blue is adjective. Create is a verb. So here we are going to circle it. Eat is again a verb. Hurrah is an interjection, as this word is basically used in exclamatory sentences. In is a preposition. Listen is again a verb. Monica is proper noun. Pencil is again a noun. Pray is a verb. See is a verb. There is adverb of place. Is a verb which falls in the category of to be. So it is a verb. We are going to circle it. And here we can write it like this. A to be form of verb. And suddenly is again an adverb. And city is a common noun. I hope you have understood how to attempt this question. Let's move further. Underline the verbs or verb phrases in the following sentences. Let's pick the first one. Aman is a very good student. Here is our verb. We are waiting for the magician. Here, are waiting is a verb phrase. People have been standing in the queue since morning. So, have been standing is a verb phrase. Birds fly in the sky. Fly is a main verb here. The tiger was chasing a wild buffalo. So, was chasing is a verb phrase. They will be visiting the city museum too. So, here we have verb phrase will be visiting. You can't stand here. Can't stand is a verb phrase. Don't you need any warm clothes? So, here don't and need, they are verbs. Don't is the contraction of do not and it falls in the category of auxiliary verb, whereas need is main verb and together they form verb phrase. Is she coming to school tomorrow? Here is and coming. Is auxiliary verb and coming is main verb. My dog is not eating anything. Is not eating is a verb phrase here. Hope you have understood this question. Let's move further. Complete the following sentences by filling in the blanks with suitable action verbs or linking verbs given in the box. I hope you must be knowing what are action verbs. Action verbs are the words which talk about action. But what are linking verbs? Now, to understand linking verbs, we need to know that these are the verbs which link the subject of a sentence with a word that describes it. So, instead of showing action, linking verbs show a relationship or a state of being. Now, common examples of linking verbs are is, am, are, was, or were. If you say she is happy in this sentence, is links she to the state of being happy. So I hope it is easy for you to understand the difference between action verbs and linking verbs. So now let's do the exercise. Virat Kohli dash a double century in the last match against Sri Lanka. So the answer is scored. Dogs dash man's best friend. So here we have are. Dogs are man's best friend. Here are is a linking verb. The library is next to the principal's office. I hope you have understood that is a linking verb here. My father knows your father. So knows is a main verb or you can say action verb. The cake looks delicious. So looks is again action verb. The fox sat under the tree. Sat is action verb. I am your leader. So am is a linking verb. The weather dash quiet clear yesterday. Was quite clear yesterday. So here was is a linking verb. Let's move further and attempt our classroom assignment number 49, which is based on verb and verb types. Underline the finite verbs and encircle the non-finite verbs in the following sentences. So, before we attempt this question, let's understand the difference between finite verbs and non-finite verbs. So, there is a very simple difference between these two kinds of verbs. Finite verbs show a specific action or state in a sentence and change according to the subject and tense, or you can say time. For example, let's pick the word sing. If our subject is singular, we will add s here and we will say she sings well. But if our subject is plural, we will only use sing. That is why this verb is changing according to the subject. It also changes according to the tense. For example, if we are talking in present tense, we will use sing, and if we are using past tense, we will use sang. So, the finite verbs change according to the subject and the time. Whereas non-finite verbs don't change based on the subject or time. They often appear as infinitives. Now, what are infinitives? Whenever you come across 2 plus verb, that is infinitive. Or they are also gerunds. For example, verb plus ing. Or participles. Now, what are participles? Verb plus ing or ed. So, non-finite verbs includes infinitives, gerunds or participles. And these non-finite verbs do not change according to the subject or time. You can also say that finite verbs are main verbs or action words, while non-finite verbs are more about the form of the verb without specifying who or when. I hope you have understood the difference between finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Now let's attempt this question. I heard a little puppy crying for help. Here, heard is finite verb, whereas crying is non-finite because it is the form of gerund. The principal wants to hear the truth. Here, wants is finite verb, whereas here, to hear is non-finite verb because it is infinitive. Do you know how to play the guitar? Here, know is finite verb, whereas to play is again infinitive, or you can say non-finite verb. Pathak looked at the kites flying in the sky. Here, looked is finite verb, whereas flying is non-finite. Encouraged by the audience, the singer sang 4 more songs. So, encouraged is. Before we attempt this question, let's understand the difference between finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Now, if we talk about finite verbs, they show a specific action or state in a sentence and change according to the subject and tense. For example, let's pick the verb sing. If our subject is singular, we will add s here and we will say she sings well. But if our subject is plural, we will keep it sing only. For example, we can say we sing well. So this particular verb is changing according to singular and plural subject. If we talk about the tense, sing will become sang in past tense. So, finite verbs change according to the subject and tense. If we talk about non-finite verbs, they don't change based on the subject or time. They often appear as infinitives. Now, what are infinitives? They are to plus verb. So, wherever you come across to plus verb, it is called infinitive. Or gerunds. Now, what are gerunds? Gerunds have the combination of verb plus ing. Now, gerunds are basically those verbs which are not action words. They are nouns. They play the role of a noun in a sentence. And we have another form of non-finite verbs which include participles. Participles. For example, verb plus ing or ed. So if you have verb plus ing or ed playing the role of a participle, it will fall in the category of non-finite verbs. पता नहीं क्या दबाई जा रही हूं मैं. Shit. So before we attempt this question, let's understand the difference between finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs show a specific action or state in a sentence and change according to the subject and tense. Now let us understand finite verbs with the help of a verb sing. If we are talking about a singular subject, we will add s here. We will say she sings well, he sings well. But if we are talking about a plural subject, we will use sing only. We sing well. They sing well. So this verb is changing according to the singular subject and the plural subject. Similarly, if we talk about the same verb sing, this verb change according to the tense as well. Sing will become sang in past tense. So the verbs which change according to the subject and the time, they fall in the category of finite verbs. Now let's talk about non-finite verbs. These verbs do not change according to the subject or time. They often appear as infinitives, and infinitives have the structure to plus verb, or gerunds having the structure verb plus ing, where this form of verb plays the role of a noun in a sentence instead of action word, or participles having the structure verb plus ing or ed. These are participles. So you can say finite verbs are main verbs or action words, while non-finite verbs are more about the form of the verb without specifying who or when. I hope now it is clear. Let's start our exercise. Let's pick our first sentence. I heard a little puppy crying for help. Now in this sentence, heard is a finite verb, whereas crying is non-finite, because this verb is playing the role of gerund here. It is no more a verb, it is playing the role of a noun in this sentence. The principal wants to hear the truth. Here wants is our finite verb, whereas to hear is non-finite. It is infinitive. As I told you right now, that whenever you come across to plus verb, it is infinitive. Do you know how to play the guitar? So here, do you know? Know is finite verb and to play is non-finite. Pathak looked at the kites flying in the sky. Looked is finite verb and flying is non-finite. Encouraged by the audience, the singer sang 4 more songs. Here, encouraged is non-finite verb, whereas sang is finite verb. Let's move on to our next question. Underline the verb in each sentence and write T if it is transitive and I if it is intransitive. Also circle the object of each transitive verb. Now, you must be knowing what is the difference between transitive and intransitive. If we talk about transitive, the sentence structure is subject plus verb plus object, whereas in intransitive, the structure is subject plus verb. There is no object. So it is very easy to identify the verb in this sentences, and we can easily identify whether the given verb is transitive or intransitive. You sing so well. Here you can easily identify the verb in this sentence. The verb is sing, but we do not have object here. That is why it is intransitive. My dog ate my homework. Here, ate is verb, my homework is object, and that is why ate is a transitive verb. First of all, let me just erase everything from here, and then it will be easy to write the answers. So, the first one is intransitive. Second one is transitive, as we have subject plus verb plus object. Are you coming or not? Here, coming is our verb and it is intransitive as we do not have object. The nightingale sang a beautiful song. So here, sang is a verb, whereas a beautiful song is our object, and that is why it is transitive. This verb is transitive. Do you see the pole star? Here, see is our verb, the pole star is our object, and that is why see is our transitive verb. Let's move forward. She went home early. Here, went is our verb. As we do not have object here, so it is intransitive. The cat was sleeping on the sofa. Sleeping is our verb and it is intransitive as we do not have object here. Some TV programs are very boring. Here, are is our verb, but we do not have object here, so that is why it is again intransitive. The pilot landed the plane safely. Landed is verb, and here the plane is an object, that is why it is transitive. I enjoy my science lessons. Enjoy is a verb and my science lessons is object, that is why enjoy is a transitive verb. I hope you have understood this question. Let's move further. Complete the following sentences with suitable objects. Now this exercise is very easy. You can attempt it by your own by picking up a suitable object as per your understanding of the sentence. I have bought a blue pen. Now you can also write I have bought a new car. So you can change the object as per your comprehension. Gagan wants to learn the art of calligraphy. She gave me a new book. Jax likes to eat mangoes. Yes, please notice here we have used infinitive. A pilot flies the aeroplane. We are waiting for the train. Just omit this extra for. Granny makes delicious cakes. Mother opened the box of chocolates. I won the first prize. Manya is reading an interesting novel. So I hope it is very easy to attempt this question. Let's move further. In each of the following sentences, the verb in bold is followed by two objects. Identify them by underlining the direct object and encircling the indirect object as shown in the example below. First of all, let's see the example. Mr. Bhardwaj teaches us geography. Here we have two objects. Teaches is our verb and us is our indirect object and geography is our direct object, and that is why we have circled us and we have underlined geography. Now let's attempt the questions. As you can see in the questions, all these bold words, written in bold letters are verbs. And we need to figure out the direct object and the indirect object. My mother baked me a cake. Here, me is our indirect object, whereas a cake is our direct object. The company offered me a job. Me again, indirect object. A job is direct object. You should give him some money. Him is indirect. Some money is direct object. Can you pass me the salt, please? Me is again indirect object, whereas the salt is our direct object. John lent me his guitar. So here me is our indirect object, whereas his guitar is direct object. She gave me a rude shock. Again, me is indirect object, whereas a rude shock is direct object. I owe him 20,000 rupees. So here him is indirect, whereas 20,000 rupees is direct object. When told me an interesting story. So here me is indirect and interesting story is direct. Given below are some pairs of sentences. Use an appropriate form of a verb from the box below to fill in the blanks correctly. In the box against each sentence, write T if the verb is transitive and I if the verb is intransitive. You have been given one example. Open, try, fly, count, run, sing, and read. So these are the verbs which have been given to us. And earlier I have already explained the difference between transitive and intransitive verb. Now let's attempt this. And before we attempt the questions, let's check out the examples. I like to fly kites on the occasion of Makar Sankranti. The eagle flies very high in the sky. In the first sentence, we have kites, object. That is why it is transitive. And in the second one, we do not have object. That is why it is intransitive. Let's move further. Can you dash a little louder, please? So can you read a little louder, please? So here we do not have any object. This is intransitive. Chahat reads a book every day. Reads a book every week. So here we have a book, that is an object. That is why it is transitive. The clerk counted the money. So what did he count? The money. That is why it is an object. It is transitive. Counted is a transitive verb. Can your child count? As we do not have any object here, it is intransitive. Yesterday, Jesse dashed the best race of his life. Ran. As it is followed by the direct object, it is transitive. Jesse always runs like a champion. So here we do not have any direct object and that is why it is intransitive. Bookings will open next week. Here we do not have any direct object. That is why it is intransitive. I dashed the shop at 6 a.m. yesterday. So here we have the shop direct object. That is why it is transitive. You must dash our new range of cookies. So here try is a verb and as it has object, it is transitive. The fox tried hard but failed. Here we do not have any object. That is why it is intransitive. The cuckoo sings melodiously. We do not have object here. That is why it is intransitive. Shama sings a melodious song. Here we have a melodious song as an object. That is why it is transitive. I hope you have understood this assignment. Let's move further. Classroom assignment number 50, which is based on subject-verb agreement. I hope you must be knowing the rules of subject-verb agreement. Here, the rule is very simple. You need to figure out the subject in the given sentence, and you also need to find out whether the subject is singular or it is plural. So, there are many rules to identify the subject in the sentence. And on the basis of your understanding and on the basis of the subject, you will decide which form of the verb you are going to pick. So let's start. Most cats are very fussy creatures, but our pet cat Daisy dash very simple. So here, as our subject is plural, so we are going to pick the verb are. And here in the second part of the sentence, we are specifically talking about our pet cat. It is singular, so we will use our singular verb, that is. All the coaches of the train dash derailed. So here we are talking about all the coaches. So coaches is plural, so we will pick have. Here, dash your pizzas with no capsicum, sir. So here, as we are talking about pizzas, so it is plural. That is why we are going to pick our plural form of the verb, that is are. Where does or do Aladdin and his wife live? In this sentence, we are talking about Aladdin and his wife. That is why we are going to pick our plural verb, that is do. Where do Aladdin and his wife live? The children selling toys at the crossing come from the poor families living in the slum nearby. So as our subject is plural, so we will pick the plural form of the verb come. The lion and the mouse dash become good friends now. So as we are talking about two creatures here, so we will pick plural form of the verb have. The lion and the mouse is or are an interesting story. So we are talking about a single story. So we are going to pick is. So this, the Lion and the Mouse, is the name of the book or the name of the story. So our subject is singular here. That is why we will pick is. Dahi and vada dash my favorite snack. Now here, as it is counted as a whole, we will pick singular verb is. My friend Raman and I plays badminton after school. So here we are talking about two. Our subject is plural here. That is why we will pick play. No one dash above the law. So whenever we talk about each or no one, we will always pick it as singular. It is always considered as singular, and that is why we are going to pick singular verb is here. 2 and 2 make 4. The answer is make. Either Nasru or his friends have stolen my gold, said Amina. My new pair of shoes. So here we are talking about pair of shoes, which is always considered as singular. So we will pick is. A herd of cattle. Again, a collective noun. So we will pick singular helping verb. A herd of cattle was drinking water at the pond. The inspector, along with 3 policemen, has been or have been suspended for negligence. So here we are talking about 3 policemen. So we will pick plural helping verb, have been. 80 rupees is too high a price to pay for this pen. So whenever we talk about rupees, we always consider it singular and we will use is here. Let's attempt our next question. Fill in the blanks in each of the following sentences by choosing a form of the given verb that agrees with the subject. All the milk dash finished. There isn't any left for the baby. So here we are talking about all the milk and it is considered as singular. So we will be picking our singular verb is all the milk is finished. There isn't any left for the baby. It's Sam, not his friends, who has broken the window pane. So we are basically talking about Sam here. That is why we will pick has. When I was a child, my favorite hobby was collecting stamps. Let me write it here like this. Was. Because we are talking about favorite hobby, which is singular. Athletics dash my favorite sport. Yes, it is considered singular. Though it looks like plural, but it is considered as singular. My father as well as my brother has studied biology. Now here you must be surprised that why has been taken, because as per subject verb agreement rule, whenever you come across this phrase as well as, you will always pick singular helping verb. So the correct answer will be my father as well as my brother has studied biology. The police has given him a clean chit. This is wrong. Here the correct answer is has. Bread and butter is my favorite food. Yes. So bread and butter is considered as a whole, single unit. So you will pick your single helping verb, that is. Where has my bunch of keys disappeared? So bunch of keys, again a collective noun. That is why you will pick has. Your trousers is very stylish, Nick. So trousers seems plural, but it will pick singular helping verb. Dash anybody care about your feelings? Does anybody care about your feelings? So we will pick does. You can write it like this. Each of the following sentences has an error in the subject-verb agreement. Identify the error and rewrite the correct sentence. Till now, I hope you have understood subject-verb agreement rule and you might have learned all the rules before attempting these assignments. So let's understand and identify the error and rewrite the correct sentence. Let's pick the first one. Plenty of fresh vegetables is available in the store. Now, if we look at the subject, plenty of fresh vegetables, and the verb used here is. So, what is the mistake here? The answer will be plenty of fresh vegetables are available in the store. So, make correction like this. A notebook and a pen is missing from my bag. So, the correct answer will be a notebook and a pen are missing from my bag, because we are talking about two things. The bride as well as the bridegroom belong to the same community, and the correct answer will be the bride as well as the bridegroom belongs to the same community. As I told earlier when you will come across the phrase as well as, you will always pick singular verb. Both the brother and the sister has applied for the job, and the correct answer will be both the brother and the sister have applied for the job. $1 million are a huge amount of money. I hope you have found out the answer. $1 million is a huge amount of money. I hope you have understood all the assignments. Now let's move on to our practice assignment number 27. That is based on verbs. Underline the linking verbs and circle the action verbs in the following sentences. I have already explained the difference between action verbs and linking verbs. So let's do it quickly. These boxes are heavy. Here, are is a linking verb. Kevin is an intelligent boy. Again, we have is a linking verb. I play tennis daily. Now, play is our action verb. This book looks interesting. So, looks is linking verb. She wiped her eyes and blew her nose. So wiped is action verb and blew is again action verb. I feel so tired and sleepy. So feel is linking verb here. My house is by the river. So is linking verb. The desert looked so tempting. So looked here is linking verb. I ate it immediately. So ate is action verb. Say whether the verbs in bold are linking verbs, modal auxiliary verbs or non-modal auxiliary verbs. I hope you know what are linking verbs, what are modal auxiliary verbs and what are non-modal auxiliary verbs. Linking verbs I have already explained. Talking about modal auxiliary verbs, they include the words like can, could, may, might, shall, should, ought to, need to, have to, must, etc. So these are modal auxiliary verbs, and non-modal auxiliary verbs are those which do not include such words. So let's do it. The cat is sleeping on the mat. This is non-modal auxiliary verbs as we do not have any modal auxiliary in this verb. Neha is a teacher. So here is our linking verb. Can I come with you? So can is a modal auxiliary as you know. So this is modal auxiliary verb. It is snowing outside. So I must stay at home. So is snowing is non-modal auxiliary and must is modal auxiliary. As I told you right now, all these words can, could, may, might, shall, should, ought to, need to, have to, must, all these are modal auxiliary verbs. So it is very easy to identify modal auxiliary verbs and non-modal auxiliary verbs and linking verbs in this exercise. You must dash stop dieting. You look so slim. So again you have got must here. So this is modal auxiliary. Look is linking verb. Let's move further and attempt our next question. Underline the auxiliary verbs in the following sentences, then rewrite each sentence first as a question and then as a negative statement. Now this is very interesting. Let's do it. Mark has failed. If we need to make it or change it into a question, we will make it like this. Has Mark failed? It is very easy to make a question out of a statement. Always pick your helping verb and put it in front of the subject and it will give you your question. Mark has failed. It is a statement. But when we say, has Mark failed? It becomes interrogative, a question. And when we want to make it negative, Mark hasn't failed. So we just need to add not in a sentence and it will change into a negative statement. Garima was waiting for the bus. Was Garima waiting for the bus? Now look here, it becomes so simple. Just bring your helping verb in front of the subject and you will get your question. Was Garima waiting for the bus? Garima wasn't waiting for the bus. Just add not here. You can write it in contraction also. I am feeling hungry. Again, just bring it here. Am I feeling hungry? I'm not feeling hungry. Just add not and you will get your negative statement. Mother has washed all the clothes. Again, has mother washed all the clothes? You can make it a question. It is very easy. Mother hasn't washed all the clothes. They have finished the project in time. Have they finished the project in time? And the negative statement will be they haven't finished the project in time. You can also write they have not finished the project in time. Shah Rukh Khan is coming to New Delhi tomorrow. Is Shah Rukh Khan? Just pick your helping verb and put it here. It is very simple to make a question out of a statement. Is Shah Rukh Khan coming to New Delhi tomorrow? Shah Rukh Khan isn't coming to New Delhi tomorrow. Now, let's move on to our next question. Fill in the blanks in the following table with the correct verb forms. Now it is very easy. We need to know all the verb forms of the given words. And the first word is dig. In simple present tense, we write digs. Present participle form will be digging. D-I-G-G-I-N-G. Past form will be dug. And past participle will be dug again. Let's check our next word, that is writing. So writing word has a base form, that is write, W-R-I-T-E. And the simple present tense is writes, W-R-I-T-E-S. Present participle is writing. Simple past is wrote. And past participle form is written. Our next word is showed. The base form of this word is show, S-H-O-W. And the simple present form is shows. Present participle form will be showing. Simple past is showed and past participle is shown. Next word is ride. Simple present is rides. Present participle is riding. Yes, just add ing in present participle and you will get your word. Simple past form of this word ride is rode, R-O-D-E. And the past participle form is ridden, R-I-D-D-E-N. I hope you have completed this worksheet. Let's move further. Rewrite the following sentences as shown in the example. Then circle the indirect object and underline the direct object. We have already done one classroom assignment based on direct and indirect objects. Now let's do it. Dad bought a bicycle for me. Dad bought me a bicycle. So here, me is our indirect object, whereas a bicycle is our direct object. I baked a cake for my sister. So let's first rewrite it as shown in the example. It will turn out as I baked my sister a cake. Here, my sister is indirect object, a cake is direct object. Grandpa sold his old car to the mechanic. Here, Grandpa sold the mechanic his old car. Here, the mechanic is indirect object, his old car is direct object. Please show your passport to the officer. Rewrite it first. Please show the officer your passport. And the officer is our indirect object and your passport is direct object. Mr. Ali fed some food to the hungry dog. Let's rewrite it. Mr. Ali fed the hungry dog some food. Here, the hungry dog is our indirect object, whereas some food is our direct object. In the following sentences, underline the noun, pronoun, or phrase the verb in bold agrees with. You have been given one example. Suzanne is wearing a red dress. Here, Suzanne is our noun. Neither Sally nor her sisters love chocolates. Here, neither Sally nor her sisters. This is the phrase which agrees with the verb given in bold. Love. Both the brothers as well as their sister are good singers. So here we are basically talking about both the brothers, and that is why we have picked our verb are. Both the brothers as well as their sister are good singers. So Poonam, the eldest of the three sisters, is very beautiful. Basically here we are talking about Poonam. So we are going to underline the noun Poonam. Milk and fruit are good for health. So here we are talking about milk and fruit and that is why we have picked are. So underline milk and fruit. Yoga together with sports has become an integral part of school curriculum. Here we are going to underline yoga, and that is why we have picked this verb has. He as well as his parents always speaks truth. So here basically we are talking about he, the pronoun, and that is why we will pick the singular verb speaks. Moving on to the next question. Each of the following sentences has an error in the subject-verb agreement. Identify the error and rewrite the correct sentence. Now let's do it. Some sheep was grazing in the field. So the correct way will be some sheep were grazing in the field. I hope you have identified the error here. We will pick were instead of was. The girls playing with Sally is my cousins. So here our subject is plural. I hope you have understood. The girls playing with Sally are my cousins. Both the friends plays the guitar very well. Here we are talking about both the friends, which is plural. So we cannot pick plays. The correct answer will be play. 50 pounds are too much to pay for these sneakers. The correct answer will be 50 pounds is, not are. This is wrong. Moving further, athletics. Again, the same sentence is repeating. Is my favorite sports. So here we never use are. All his furniture have been destroyed in fire. Whenever we come across the word furniture, we always consider it as singular. So we will pick singular helping verb. All his furniture has been destroyed in fire. Either the captain or the coaches is to blame for the team's loss. The correct answer will be either the captain or the coaches are to blame, not is. He don't know anything. Again, with singular, we never use don't. We say he doesn't know anything. The police has caught the burglar red-handed. The police have caught the burglar red-handed. So the correction is have. Change your trousers. It's dirty. Change your trousers. They are dirty, not it's. The Arabian Nights are a very good collection of stories. So here, name of the story. So we will consider it singular and we will use is. I are not interested in action films. I am not interested in action films. I hope all your answers are correct. Moving further, the painter and sculptor are dead. The painter and sculptor is dead. Now you must be confused that how come we are using is here, because we are talking about the same person who had been a painter as well as a sculptor. Has the child's parents also come? So we are talking about the parents, so we will be using have, not has. Each of the boys were given a new book. So I told you earlier, whenever we will be using each in our sentence, we will always consider it as singular. So here we will be using singular verb. Each of the boys was given a new book. Hope you really found the video useful. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please press the like button, share it, subscribe it, as it will motivate me to upload more such videos. Thanks again. Jai Hind.